It was a Monday morning, and the people of Paris were starting their work for the day. Some were heading to school, some to their companies, and some to their working place. Like everyone else, the staff at Société Générale Bank opened the bank and got ready for their usual tasks. Société Générale Bank was well known for its secure and strongest vaults, trusted by many for keeping their valuables safe. It had built a reputation for being one of the most reliable places to store wealth, and the staff took pride in maintaining that security. As usual, following the daily routine, one of the staff members went to open the vault. But this time, something was different. The vault wouldn't open. Due to its heavy weight, it often caused trouble when opening, even in the past. They thought it might be the same issue they had encountered before, so they decided to call the vault maintenance company. It seemed like the safest way to handle the problem, just as they had done in the past. Within 30 minutes, the experts arrived at the bank and began working to open the vault door. Unfortunately, this time they also failed to open it. They made several attempts, but each one ended in failure. The staff members started to suspect that something was seriously wrong. After 3 hours of trying, company experts decided to drill a small hole into the vault to see what was stuck inside. It seemed like their only option to figure out what was causing the problem. They began using a heavy-duty drill machine to make a hole in the vault. After the hole was ready and they looked inside, they were shocked. Someone had welded the vault shut from the inside, leaving them confused by this surprising twist. Seeing this, they realized that something was definitely wrong. They decided to break through the side wall to enter the vault. However, breaking the wall took much longer than expected because it was extremely strong and built for high security, making the task both difficult and time-consuming. When they finally made a hole in the wall and looked inside, what they saw was unforgettable. The bank had been robbed. But what caught everyone's attention was a message sprayed on the wall, which means without arms, without hate, and without violence. Within minutes, the staff alerted the police, who arrived quickly and started their investigation. As they searched the bank, they came across a small tunnel cleverly hidden in the back wall. Intrigued, the police followed the tunnel, which led them deep into the dark underground sewage system. It soon became clear that this was how the robbers had managed to break into the bank. As the police continued their search, they found 27 gas cylinders, which were used for welding the vault shut. But that wasn't all. They also spotted ventilators placed along the sewage line, which the robbers had used to maintain fresh air while working. Each new piece of evidence showed just how carefully the heist had been planned. News of the heist spread quickly across the country, and the bank's reputation took a serious hit. People began to wonder how such a well-guarded bank could have been breached so easily. The police began their investigation immediately by interrogating each staff member and the manager to gather information. They also questioned the security personnel, hoping to uncover any useful details. The investigators tried every possible method at their disposal, but their efforts proved fruitless. They examined the vault, the lockers, and all the evidence they had collected, searching for fingerprints. However, the robbers had been incredibly clever, leaving no clues behind and ensuring that their tracks were well covered. Frustration grew as the police realized just how meticulously the heist had been planned. In October 1976, the police received a significant lead in the case. One of the members of the robbery crew had been caught based on a tip from his girlfriend. This breakthrough sparked a renewed sense of hope in the investigation. At first, he denied his involvement with the gang. However, after receiving some special treatment from the police, he eventually agreed to cooperate. Once he opened up, he revealed details about his gang members, sharing information that could prove crucial to the investigation. What really shocked the police was that this gang had only been involved in small crimes like pickpocketing and chain snatching. They couldn't believe how a small group like this could manage to rob a highly secured bank. It just didn't add up, and the police were left wondering how such a simple gang could have pulled off such a major heist. With this crucial information, the police wasted no time and started arresting the rest of the gang members involved in the heist. During the interrogation, the gang members revealed the mastermind behind the plan. It turned out that the brains behind the entire heist was a photographer named Albert Spaghiari. But how could a simple man behind the camera be the mastermind behind one of the biggest heists of the century? Let's uncover the story of Albert Spaghiari and how he orchestrated this daring crime. Albert Spaghiari was a photographer and a man of simple means. He lived in a modest house on the outskirts of the city, leading a quiet life and always minding his own business. But beneath this ordinary facade, there was something different about him. Ever since the age of 12, he had developed a keen interest in treasure and hidden fortunes. He had been planning this bank heist for a very long time. His mastermind plan began by renting a safe deposit box in the bank, giving him the perfect cover to study the vault from the inside. He started clicking pictures of the vault and every important detail in the bank, making sure to capture everything needed for his plan. One day, he placed an alarm clock in his locker, setting it to ring at nighttime. When the alarm rang, no one seemed to notice, and there was no sound from the security alarm either. This confirmed to him that there was no security system installed in the vault. He confirmed that there was no security system in the vault, but he wondered how he would get inside. He couldn't go through the front door, as it was heavily guarded, so he decided to use an underground tunnel to access the vault. He went to the city government office disguised as an engineer and obtained a city map. After cross-checking the distance between the sewage line and the bank, he confirmed that he had to dig a 26-foot tunnel to reach the vault. But Albert knew he couldn't carry out this ambitious plan alone, so he decided to share his entire plan with a notorious gangster in the city. As he laid out the details of his plan, the gangster listened intently. Impressed, he agreed to work with Albert and quickly put his men to work digging the tunnel. It took about 2 months to dig the tunnel, as they worked without any machinery. They chose to dig only at night because they wanted to ensure that no one would be in the bank. Each night, under the cover of darkness, they toiled away, inching closer to their goal. They also had to be careful to ensure that no one would suspect anything on the road above the sewage line. After completely digging the tunnel to the bank, on the night of July 18th, between Saturday and Sunday, they finally entered the vault. For the next 27 continuous hours, they robbed 400 safety deposit boxes out of 4,000, taking a significant amount of gold and a total of $20 million, which is now valued at $110 million. They carried out the heist with remarkable calmness, even taking the time to have lunch and dinner inside the vault. As they prepared to leave, they wrote down the famous lines that would become part of the heist's legend. The police tracked down Albert Spaghiari's address and arrested him. After hours of interrogation, he confessed that he was the mastermind behind the heist. A few days later, Albert was presented in court, where he openly admitted his guilt in front of the judges. Albert wrote the details about the looted money in code on a piece of paper. He insisted that he would only provide this evidence to the judge, and that too only in private. To accommodate this request, the judge summoned Albert to his chamber. Once there, Albert handed over the paper, which contained the coded details about the location of the stolen money. The judge began to examine the paper carefully, focusing intently on the cryptic information. But this was just a clever trick to fool the judge and the police as part of his escape plan. The judge's chamber was on the first floor, and just as the judge started to look closely at the paper, Albert suddenly jumped out of the window. He had arranged for a motorcycle rider to be waiting below. As soon as he leaped, the rider rushed over, picked him up, and they quickly disappeared into the streets, pulling off a daring escape. The police chased after him, but they couldn't catch Albert. Several years later, Albert's interview was broadcast on a television show in Italy. During the interview, he seemed to taunt the French police. Unfortunately, Albert's life took a tragic turn when he passed away in 1989 due to lung cancer. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.